Festival with gravy, fried kingfish, jerk chicken, rice and peas, oxtail, curry vegetables. We are eating good today, folks. I might not be able to go to the Caribbean, so I'm going to bring the Caribbean to me. I've got the island food, I've got the island music. I'm ready to let the Caribbean vibes wash all over me. I've been to Jamaica, so some of this food I've had before, and some of it I've never had before. For example, I've never had festival before. Festival with gravy. Let's give this a try. Festival feels like kind of like a bread dough ball. Let's open it up, see what's inside of it. Nothing. So that's what the gravy's for. You can smell those Caribbean spices. Let's try the festival by itself first. A little sweeter than I expected. Very moist. That's really, really good. I'm sure we're going to upgrade it though with this gravy. Yeah, it's delicious with this gravy. I'm actually wondering now why I've never had festival. I've been to Jamaica before. Actually, my first trip to Jamaica is actually what made me fall in love with Bob Marley. Little story time. My first trip to Jamaica was going to a all-inclusive resort called Sandals. I don't know if it's still a partnership, but Sandals used one of Bob Marley's songs in their commercials. So you would hear this song everywhere. It was a song called Three Little Birds. It went something like, don't worry about a thing, everything's gonna be all right. And that jingle in the commercial over and over and over again. And then when I looked up who sang that song, I realized, oh, it's Bob Marley. I started listening to all his music, and I love Bob Marley now. My favorite song of his is No Woman, No Cry. Give it a listen if you can. So what's a trip to Jamaica or the Caribbean without jerk chicken? I mean, jerk chicken seems to be the staple food. Whenever you go to the Caribbean, it's always jerk chicken. Side of the road, there's a barbecue with jerk chicken. All-inclusive resorts, jerk chicken. I mean, the jerk spice is so closely tied, obviously, to the Caribbean. So let's see how this jerk chicken is. This chicken appears to be very moist. Good jerk flavor. It's a slow spice build. That's actually really good. There's two things I always experience whenever I go to Jamaica. I always have the jerk chicken, and then the second is I always have someone coming up to me and ask me if I smoke. I don't know why they always ask me if I smoke. I guess they're very worried about my health and making sure I don't smoke, maybe. With jerk chicken, there's always a side. It can be coleslaw, but usually rice and peas. Another staple that you always find with jerk chicken and in the Caribbean, especially Jamaica. The rice and peas is always flavorful, but it's not a flavor I love. It's good rice and peas, but a little bit dry. So the first time I went to Jamaica, as I was saying, was at a resort called Sandals. What was unique about Sandals' trip? Sandals does this thing. It was first experienced on the bus from the airport to the Sandals resort. At least the bus driver would be like, hey man, if you're in Jamaica, someone says, hey man, you say, hey man back. So everything was like, hey man, hey man. And then when I got to the resort, it was no problem man, no problem. Everything was no problem man. Everything all right, no problem man. Hey man, no problem. There's only three phrases I know. Hey man, no problem, and everything all right. That's all I got from Jamaica, and the music. But I always keep going back, because I love the Jamaican vibe, and the food. So let's continue. Some curry vegetables. Actually, I don't think I've had curry vegetables from Jamaica before. And if you know anything about curry, there's so many different types of curry. It seems like every single country has their own variation of curry. Indian curry, Chinese curry, got this Caribbean curry. So just because you order a curry, you don't always know what you're going to get. Flavor-wise, that is. You got carrots, red pepper, chickpeas. Is it called callaloo? So many different vegetables. That's an amazing curry, actually. It's got some spice, got some heat to it. It's not like an Indian curry or a Chinese curry. I love the mix of vegetables. I could just sit here and eat all this. So even though I associate jerk chicken with Jamaica and the Caribbean more than anything else, there's so much fish in Jamaica. Obviously, because it's surrounded by water. So let's try this kingfish. When I ordered the fried fish, they had an option of snapper or king. I don't think I've ever had kingfish before. So let's give this kingfish a try. Very fried for sure. White fish, very light. Lemon, but I'm just going to have it by itself. It's very good. It actually reminds me of something I've had though from another cuisine. It doesn't scream to me Jamaican. It doesn't scream unique to a specific culture or cuisine. It's just a very typical, very delicious fried fish. But again, nothing screaming to me Caribbean. Very moist as well. They cooked it really well. One more thing to try. I wouldn't say I'm scared of trying this. I'm a little apprehensive. It's something I've never had before in my life. Even the name of it doesn't sound that appealing to me. What I'm talking about is oxtail. And this is literally the tail of I believe they use a cow. I don't know. What about you? Having oxtail? It's like having a cow tongue. I've never had cow tongue, and that doesn't appeal to me too much. I figured now's the perfect time to try it. Seems like there's bones. Seems pretty tender. It's like regular meat. Smells good. Very tender. I thought it would taste more unique. Kind of just tastes like another part of a cow. Very moist, like a roast, like a very well stewed, moist roast. Not rope. Yeah, it's delicious. It's just soaking and smothering in gravy. It's like a beef gravy, but it's got some Caribbean spices in it. That's delicious. Just because you can't fly to the Caribbean doesn't mean you can't bring the Caribbean to you, and I have done that. But there's one more thing I need to do. The last thing I needed to do was make myself a plate of food. You can have these things individually, but it's when you start combining them. To me, this is what true Caribbean food is, and this is absolutely delicious. I'm going to enjoy this. Hope you have a great day. I'll see you on the next one.